Hello. Welcome to the Rexburg Hustle. Today, I am with Travis Green and Rick Robinson of Team Green Real Estate, and they will be interviewing me. Hello, gentlemen.
Right. Hello. You know, a little different twist to how we normally do things, but why not?
You know, Stu walked in the studio as soon as he walked in, and he just got into character, and he just started just introducing the show, and I'm just like, we've got to have you do it.
It feels like a newscaster desk, you know? You need like the whole teleprompter and we'll see you next time sort of thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, thank you for introducing the show. we really appreciate it. That was the most formal introduction I think the Rexburg Hustle has ever had.
Yeah.
So, because normally it's just us, who are very average people.
We are average.
So
glad Stu is here.
Yes.
So this
we
is
need an above average person with us.
So now let's introduce Stu. So this is Stu or Stuart Deacon. He is here to talk to us today about some great things that are happening in the community. Stu Stewart is head of the Idaho Christmas Village Committee, and there are some fun things that are happening that we'd like to talk to him about. But anyway, before we begin, is there anything on Rick's mind he wants to talk about?
I think just for our audience, why don't you just tell us a little bit about you?
Right.
Why Stu is here, how you got here. Mm-hmm. I know it's kind of, there's a little bit of backstory to it.
Yeah, there is indeed. My parents met at Rick's college. My father's from England, and my mom's from Idaho Falls, so local girl meets, foreigner, and instantly, falls in love. They went off to England, had 3 children. After my father passed away, we moved back to Rexburg, and then have just moved all around Idaho, but ended up in Sugar City. And now my mother's back living in Idaho Falls. I'm back in Rexburg going to, BYUI because, let's face it, I can afford the tuition and it's a good college. So that's where I'm going to. Just studying communication with an emphasis in film. So hoping to make videos and films and things. I was hoping to maybe make it as an actor, but as everybody knows, that doesn't pay very well. So I thought maybe I would switch it around and just
be on the other side of the
camera. The guy who hires the actors. So.
There you go. Awesome.
Wonderful.
And you have acting skills. That's something you did throughout high school a little bit, and you were involved in some plays. And but now life is kind of taking a different role for you, especially around the holiday season. And you are somebody's very special helper.
Yes. Tell us about that.
So growing up, I always loved Santa Claus. I really enjoyed just what he stood for, what he was, and the magic surrounding it. There's lots of films and things I just really I loved. My 3rd grade photo at Adams Elementary is actually me in a Santa suit. No beard or anything, but
we needed that picture.
I'll post it in the comments. That's
what
I'll do.
Deal.
But I just thought it was just so wonderful. And back in England, my poppy always dressed up as Santa Claus. And after I got married to my wife, we found ourselves we had a little bit extra money from both working full time. And I said, well, maybe. Is there anything I've never done in my life that I wanted to do? And I guess I just wanted to buy a Santa suit, try it out, see how it worked. So we bought one, and that first season we only charged for gas money, for compensation. We were just doing our services completely for free, just having fun, and we absolutely loved it and got hooked. And so since then, we've taken it even a step further, and I've improved my look over the years, thank goodness, and it's just been something that I really was involved in. And when I was approached by the people who run the East Idaho Renaissance Fair, they said, hey, we'd like to do a Christmas village this year. Is that something you'd be interested in heading up? And I said, well, absolutely. I remember as a kid on Main Street, they used to have little sheds with Santa. You could go and get a picture with Santa, and they don't do that anymore.
That's right.
They've got a Santa at the Romance and stuff, and over at the Tabernacle this year, which they asked me to be. So I'm very happy to kind of be full circle with that. But I said, we need to have a little place where people can come get photos with Santa, enjoy some food, and so we're just gonna have a little sort of Christmas village out by Bear World this year, which I'm very excited to. We're opening the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay, I was just gonna ask you when, so that's great.
It's from 4 to 8 p.m. Friday and Saturdays, starting with Friday, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and then ending the weekend before Christmas. So we're very busy and very excited. So
that's awesome. Now being a representation of Santa, right, is no easy task. I've had to do that before for some family events, and let me tell you, I am a terrible Santa. But you're good at it. It sounds like. I mean, to the point where people pay you for it. And,
and your look is surprisingly. I mean, yeah.
Why don't we throw the photo up?
So this is Santa's helper acting like Santa. And you'd never know it's not the real guy.
With a little bit of Christmas magic that the guy from up north has lent me, I'm able to do what I do. And all these photographs here, I've actually had my wife taken, but I've produced it. So the behind the scenes, getting the lighting right, getting the costume and everything, and with the Christmas magic, being a representative of Santa Claus, I think there is a standard that you have to make. You can't just be some guy in a raggedy old suit with a beard with,
This is classy.
you gotta look good.
You would never know that this guy here is this guy here. You would not even know. This is very, very realistic of the real guy. So that's amazing.
Even from the hairline to the look, everything is just such a good representation, down to the sleigh. Let's talk about the sleigh that you built.
Right.
This is no just out of the box you just assembled, with a couple of screws and put it together. This thing is something else.
Had it been out of the box, it probably would have been easier to put together.
I'm sure it would
because
have been.
The closest sleighs I could find were in Utah, and even then, you can't really go down to Utah, buy a sleigh, come up and alter it to be what I wanted it to be. Growing up, we have all these sleighs in malls and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, that's Santa sleigh. I'm like, there's only one bench, or there's no place for the toys. What do we do about that? So I wanted to build something that was big enough that could actually carry a good amount of toys, and would be fixed with the gadgets so that it actually could be considered, this is actually real. And so I take this out on a trailer. We've done the 4th of July parade these last 2 years, but this last Christmas we only had one appointment with the sleigh, but I went and knocked on the door, towing it behind my car. I went and knocked on the door and I said, kids, I was towing my sleigh back to North Pole. It's broken down. Don't know what to do. Can you come help me? And they were like, we'll go help Santa Claus. As a 14-year-old boy, and his little siblings, the littler ones were a bit more excited. And they came out and they were like, whoa, wait, this thing is bigger than my Explorer. It's just massive. And so they climbed on up and we did some stuff and it started working, and they were like, this is insane. Like, they started to actually believe, like, this could be the Santa Claus come to visit us. But I'm just representative. No, it was a lot of fun. So.
It lights up. It's got, gadgets and knobs and levers and gauges and this is impressive.
You'll have to come out and see it sometime. I'll take you to the storage unit. We live in apartments, so we have to keep it in the unit year round, but no.
Gotcha.
Come out, take you for a loop around. You'll love it.
Awesome.
Great. Where do you keep the reindeer?
That's a great question. Because of our partnership with Bear World, they have been able to disguise them with a little bit of magic as some of their elk. So that's something that we are able to do. It's very good. Working with the locals, it's like, all right, they don't know which one's Rudolph and which one's Dasher Dancer, but we go over there on Christmas Eve, hook them up, and we cover the Rexburg area.
Perfect. Really Perfect.
Now, growing up as a kid, it sounds like you were a pretty harsh critic of Santa's. Right? Is that true?
Particularly the beard.
No, not that's not even true. That's more than true. That is the end of the story. That's just I was just a harsh critic. That's it. Because as a kid, even there's very little things you can get away with kids. They notice more than anything. And one of the things I first noticed looking at people who were portraying Santa Claus and representing the man, if they didn't have boots. Right? You got the vinyl boot covers, and you're like, they're wearing Sunday shoes underneath the vinyl boot covers. It's like, if he really was Santa, or even really, wouldn't he have real boots? Like that's the, and then the second thing is that belt actually belt, or is it, is it vinyl and made out of, Halloween sort of style goods? But then the beard was always, who's behind the beard?
It was always the
can I pull it down?
Away.
Can I pull it down? I want to know who you are. Do I know you? And so I always ask the Santa Clauses, can I pull your beards down? And they would say no. Or one of them
that kid.
One of them actually said yes. Well, I'd always ask first. That's the thing. I didn't want to end up on the naughty list. If they said yes, then it was okay. But no, one time the guy, the man behind the beard said, yes, you can pull my beard down, but so long as I can pull your ear as hard as you pull my beard. And so I took a hold of his beard, and my ear just came right off, and I was right there. But no, I think if you're going to do something and you're doing it for other people, you should be able to do it right.
Yeah.
And so with Santa Claus, my first year, it wasn't, I didn't want to represent the man by having something that didn't look, like a beard at all. Santa Claus has a beard, so why can't I also portray that with the resources I have? We have the internet now, and it's very useful to getting, theatrical grade stuff. And over here, you see, I've done that look to the point where it just looks magical.
Couldn't tell. Yeah.
Traditional, designer, real, fake, it doesn't matter so long as it looks like it could be. It's fitting of Santa Claus, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
right.
And on that note, before you got into this, you didn't just go down to the store and go buy a Santa's. You did a lot of research.
Oh no, we started in June, And it wasn't until November that I was happy with what we had. I had to get boots. I had to get a proper. I figured out the belt the awful way because it rips, so that I didn't have in time. But I didn't want to start with just the raggedy old beard. I thought I could like rescue one, so I grabbed it and tried
Do they
to
have beard
style
rescues out there?
No.
Okay, all right.
No, I just thought I could save it from the demise of ending up in the trash after the season. But no, it was awful. So I went out and just lots and lots of research, and I ended up just bleaching my hair to go along with what I had the first year. These photos are from this year, not even this season, but everything but this has been taken outside of the Christmas season, just in my living room and over at a local park. And just I've gotten the right pieces now, and I feel a lot more comfortable. And it's really exciting to see the kids light up when they say, "Oh my gosh, it is Santa! It's not just some man in a beard that has spray painted their beard white or baby powder or whatever. This could be the man." But as I said, I'm just here to represent the suit.
The attention to detail and the time it's taken you to put this together. This is the most real looking thing. I mean, the real man must be mad at you. I mean, because this is like, yeah.
I hope he's proud. I'll say that.
Okay, maybe proud's a better way. That's awesome. That's great.
What drives? Because this is not a passion everybody has.
No.
That's right.
What drives this? What is it deep inside of you that just drives you to do this every year? This isn't something you live off of. This isn't what pays the bills. This is something purely that you have obviously a gift for, but a passion for as well. What's driving that?
A lot of men who get into representing Santa Claus, it's a retirement plan because they're old, they've got a beard, they can do it. Me, I'm not old, I don't have a beard. I can't wait for retirement, don't get me wrong. But I really just, as a young kid, just seeing the magic of Santa Claus and everything that was, just kind of encapsulated in that, I just wanted to flip the coin and say, instead of being just a guy with a beard and a suit, I wanted to represent Santa Claus as I saw him in my mind. I didn't want kids to walk away and be like I said with the sleigh, when I stopped at that family's house, they actually started doubting.
They started wondering.
Yeah, they're like, he's got a sleigh. Like, he looks real, he's got the energy. And as, I know other Santa Clauses who have been doing this since they were 15, 16. I know a few that are younger than me right now in their 20s. But at the end of the day, you got to have a lot of energy to do what you do. You're sitting in a chair for hours or entertaining folks. And so if you don't have that energy and stuff, it kind of, it drags on the visit. So as a young guy, not only can I be excited about representing and being Santa Claus for these children, but also I know what they're going through because I was there. And so I want to not give them an excuse to be like, oh, that's not the real guy. I want them to believe as long as they can.
And this started when you were very, very young. When you were just a little boy in England.
Yes.
That's where this whole thing started, and your curiosity. And all of a sudden, this living desire to embrace Santa and almost be like him. It's just within you. It's something that's just fun, but it's a passionate drive for you. I think we all have that thing, whatever it may be. Yeah. Yours is Santa. It's so unique, but so great. So awesome.
My wife may call it a bit obsessive.
Well, yeah. No, we all have our obsessiveness. I have mine, and I just remind my wife it's not obsessive, it's just passionate. Yes.
I'd have to agree with that. It's passion. Pure Christmas passion.
That's right. Well, great.
So you may not be in Rexburg forever because you're a student here at BYU, Idaho. Mm-hmm. What does the future of Santa hold? I mean, do you plan on doing this wherever you go in life? Is this a long-term thing?
I would have to say yes. I think this is a long-term thing. Number one, because I'm going to hopefully live for a lot longer than just past this Christmas season.
We hope so.
And there's also... I'd like to set a world record with my wife. I know there have been guys doing Santa Claus for very many, many years, and they started way younger than I am, and they're still going now. But for a Mrs. Claus and a Santa to be married and to be Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus at least once every single season, we may be able to set a record for 50, 60, maybe even 70 years at this rate. So that's wherever I go, I hopefully they enjoy Santa Claus and they welcome him with open arms.
Well, and you wanted to be an actor, so maybe someone will recognize this and pull you in, I don't know. I think it's great. An amazing thing that you're doing, so realistic, so great. I mean, you bring life into what's happening. You have vision for it, and we can all feel it, and that's great. we can all feel that. So wonderful what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
Well, guys, please make sure to go down and visit him the day after Thanksgiving, right?
Also be at the city next week from 6 to 8 p.m. at
Tell
the
us everywhere you're
Tabernacle.
going to be.
All right, good. So next week at the Tabernacle, just downstairs in the Flood Museum. Going to be there from 6 to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then again on Saturday morning from 10 to 12. And then I'm off for Thanksgiving, thank goodness. But then the week after that, or the Friday of that, then we start again with the Christmas Village, and we'll post the details in the description and in the comments. I'll forward everything to these guys. So
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Lots of fun.
That's great.
And lots and lots of pictures. We need that.
Yes.
We need that third grade picture,
Yes.
whatever grade it was from.
I'll put it in there.
We've got to have that. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Stu, thank you so much for being on our show today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We wanted to leave you with this. This is just remember your episode here on the Rexburg Hustle. You may not always be the Rexburg Santa, but right now you are.
Very good. Thanks.
So
right.
you
Yes.
are right now the official Rexburg Santa, and that's
at
to
that.
that's to remember that. So
It's
anyway.
like graduating. Thank you so much. This is all I've lived for. All right, see you guys around.
Well, that's a wrap for today, folks. We appreciate you tuning in. Look forward to Santa, and be nice. Don't be naughty.
You're both on the nice list. Thank you
Good.
so much.
Yes. you
Okay.
bet.